Human beings are natural storytellers. Our conversations, our emotions, our experiences, they all revolve around a simple pattern. Something happened, and someone asked about it. Language gives us the power not only to express what we did, but also to ask others about their lives, their memories, and their truths. And when we want to understand the past, someone's decision, an event, or a personal journey, we ask WH questions in the past tense. This isn't just grammar. This is how we connect. And in today's lesson, we slow down to explore the deep logic, the structure, and the purpose of these kinds of questions. These questions allow us to reach into someone's memory, unlock stories, and bring past experiences into the present conversation. Mastering them not only improves fluency, but enhances emotional intelligence in language use. This lesson is not just about language mechanics, it's about communication. No long lists, no rushed examples. Just a deep, clear, beautiful explanation of how this structure works and why it matters. This is English Passage, where language is learned through meaning. In the green silence of Naggar, a small village in the hills of Himachal Pradesh, a boy named Arjun disappeared one Monday morning. He left before sunrise. No message. No phone. By the time his family noticed, he was gone. For 2 days, no one knew where he was. People whispered. Meera, his sister, wandered from door to door, heart heavy with questions. And when he returned, no one had answers. Only questions. They asked not to accuse, but to understand. Where did he go? Why didn't he say anything? What had he done? Each of those questions followed the very structure we're learning today. In this mystery, we are not merely concerned with the events that occurred but with the language we use to uncover truth. Each question is a linguistic key unlocking narrative depth. The villager's curiosity is a reflection of our own linguistic purpose, to seek meaning. Let's begin with the concept. A WH question is a type of question that asks for information, not for confirmation. That means, you are not expecting a yes or no. You are asking what? Where? When? Why? Who? How? Each of these question words serves a specific purpose. What asks about actions or things? Where asks about places? When asks about time? Why asks about reason? Who asks about people? Why structure matters? Clarity through pattern. In English, structure gives clarity. It tells the listener what information is wanted, who is involved, when it happened, and what kind of answer is expected. If the structure is incorrect, the sentence becomes unclear, or worse, confusing. This is especially important in questions about the past, because time changes the form of the sentence. When speaking about the past, English does not simply change the main verb. Instead, it adds a helper, the auxiliary verb did. This is the heart of today's lesson. Structure of WH questions in the past tense. Here is the complete and proper structure of a WH question in the past tense. WH word plus did plus subject plus base form of the main verb plus rest of sentence. Let's now explain each part, slowly and clearly. 1. WH word. This word determines what kind of information you're seeking. It comes at the beginning of the sentence and gives shape to the question. This is not optional. The question cannot exist without it. It sets the tone. The WH word connects your question to its purpose, whether it's to identify a place, a reason, or a person. It also signals openness in the exchange, inviting detailed and thoughtful responses. 2. Did the auxiliary verb. Did is the past form of the verb do, but here it doesn't mean do or did as an action. It serves a grammatical purpose. Its job is to show that the question is about the past. Support the main verb so that the verb itself does not carry the past form. This system is essential in English. The helping verb shows tense, and the main verb stays in the base form. This creates harmony in the sentence. This division of labor in grammar, one element handling tense, the other expressing action, is central to English sentence construction. It makes the sentence structurally efficient and semantically clear. 3. Subject. The subject is the person or thing doing the action. It comes immediately after did in a WH question. In English, the word order is strict. First comes the WH word, then did, then the subject, then the verb. This predictable structure helps the listener understand roles within the sentence. Consistent word order contributes to fluency and reduces ambiguity. 4. Main verb, base form. The verb shows the action but when we use did, we do not change the verb into past tense. We keep it in its original, base, form, the raw dictionary form. Why? Because did already carries the past tense. Using a past verb like went or ate along with did would be grammatically incorrect. This is the most common mistake learners make. But once you understand this logic, you'll never forget it. Keeping the main verb in its base form after did reflects one of English's core design principles, using auxiliary verbs to indicate time, mood, or voice, while letting the main verb retain its base identity. 5. Additional information, optional. Sometimes the sentence ends with details, time, place, or reason. This part is not required for the structure to be correct, but it gives context. It helps the listener know more about the situation. These elements, known as adjuncts, provide narrative depth and specificity, enriching both the speaker's meaning and the listener's understanding. English is built for clarity and speed. By using one word, did, to express past tense, the sentence becomes simpler and easier to process. There's no need to change the verb form based on the subject. There's no need to rearrange anything. The listener knows, as soon as they hear did, that the sentence refers to the past. The rest of the sentence can focus on who, what, where, and why without any additional confusion. This efficiency is what allows English to be both widely adopted and easily taught. The system of auxiliary support reduces the cognitive load for both speaker and listener. Usage in real life. Why this structure is universal. Let's take a moment to understand where and why this structure appears so often. You use WH questions in the past when interviewing someone, talking about yesterday's events, discussing history or stories, reflecting on emotional experiences, recalling steps or problems. This makes the structure not only grammatically important, but emotionally human. We use these questions to connect, to listen, and to understand. And that's what makes them a central part of fluency. WH questions in the past create opportunities for shared storytelling, mutual empathy, and deeper cultural understanding, all through precise yet flexible language. Story returns. Meera's questions unlock truth. When Arjun returned to the village, the morning mist was still rising from the deodar trees. The whole village had fallen silent, as if the hills themselves were waiting to exhale. Meera stood frozen at the gate, her breath caught between relief and restrained worry. She had imagined shouting, even crying, but when she saw Arjun's tired face, his sunburnt skin, and the small black diary clutched in his hand, she could only walk to him in silence. She didn't yell. She didn't accuse. She sat beside him on the wooden bench outside their home, the same bench where they used to sip chai and talk about dreams. And then, gently, she began to ask, one question at a time. Softly, calmly. Each question built not just from curiosity, but from structure, solid and intentional. The WH word. The helping verb did. The subject. The base verb. Where did you go, Arjun? He looked away, the shadows in his eyes flickering. What did you see up there? He slowly opened the diary, its pages filled with sketches and fragments of poetry. Why didn't you tell anyone? His hands trembled a little, but then he whispered, because I didn't know what to say. With each question, a truth was unlocked, not just about where he had been, but about what he had felt. The questions weren't only tools of language, they were keys that opened up memory, regret, healing. This is why learning grammar matters, not just for writing or tests, but for real moments like this, when our words shape understanding and our structure shapes trust. Asking questions about the past is not just a language skill. It's a human skill, a life skill. And when you form the question correctly, you do more than show knowledge, you show respect. You show that you are listening. You show that you care. Whether you're speaking to a friend, a teacher, a stranger, or yourself. WH questions in the past tense help you explore memories with meaning and precision. Let's take a moment to remember what we've learned. A WH question asks for information, not a yes or no. When used in the past, it requires a specific structure. Did carries the tense. The main verb remains in base form. The subject always follows did. Clarity and accuracy make your English feel natural and powerful. You didn't just memorize something today, you understood it. And that is the most powerful kind of learning. Thank you for spending your time with English Passage, where grammar lives through stories and logic leads the way. Subscribe if you want to keep learning English with logic and heart. Like if this style of deep explanation helps you. Comment one WH question in past tense that you've used recently. Share with a friend who still struggles with English structure. Until then, what did you understand today? How will you use it tomorrow? And who did you think of while learning this? This is English Passage. See you in the next story. Jai Hind. Vande Matram.